feeling a zero.
It's a jam.
Let's go.
Next one's my favorite.
I'm feeling a zero.
Next one's my favorite.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Arthi podcast late night edition. I'm your host, Matty, aka Recon IG. On this podcast, we have...
Hi, I'm Alex or Tatius and G on Reddit.
Ollie or I am Tupac AMA on Reddit.
Quick little note before we continue. Can you turn up like your mic volume or something? Allie, you're a little quiet.
Oh, sorry, it's like probably not close to my face.
Okay, anyways.
Is it good now?
Yeah, you're good. Okay, so let's get on to the podcast. This is the first late night we've done in a while. At least a month, probably.
Yeah, it's been a while.
We were supposed to do the podcast today, but Arthi had to cancel, and we really wanted her to be on the podcast. We're gonna record it tomorrow. It's gonna be on pop music, which is the most Indieheads thing to do, is talk about pop music, probably. So this isn't indie. What's wrong with you guys? Why are you guys talking about pop music on an indie music
I don't know,
podcast?
though.
It's like this is
At the same time,
at this point,
on the sub, I see people talking about like Charlie XCX and I don't know, other people all the time. They're distinctly, yeah, like I know a lot of people on there like Lorde and Taylor Swift's new album. Like, it's weird because there definitely still is like an air of pretension around it. Like,
oh yeah,
but there are a lot of people on the sub that like pop music at the same time.
Yeah,
and the thing is,
fine.
there's not like an adequate place to really discuss it on Reddit in the same at the same level we do. Because for hip hop, there's hip hop heads, so that's why I could see like a lot of the backlash towards that. And I see it's reasonable to say that shouldn't be on here because there's another sub to actually discuss that. That does a lot of discussion, but then with pop music, that's not really around.
Even then, I wish there was a smaller version of hip-hop heads. Like, I love hip-hop heads, but I feel like I don't see too much intelligent discussion on there. Like, the sub can be really funny at times, but, like, I don't know.
The sub is
really
just it's a lot more boring now to me. Like, it's just nothing in there that's like, wow, this is... Like, the daily discussion threads are not fun the slightest. They are so fucking boring.
Yeah, they made them completely impersonal, and I don't like that. I like how personal our daily discussion threads are, because, like, they can relate to indie or not, but they're always fun.
I think we have to blame Who Dat Miami for that happening to hip hop heads. Like, that guy is the main reason they only have one general discussion thread a week. Even their general discussion threads are not even that good. Wait,
yeah,
you don't know who Dat Miami is?
No, I know who he is, and that, like, there was that one picture, but I don't know what he did or anything.
No, the thing is, that picture being posted, that was basically like, okay, this is the people, this is the main people that's going to be in the discussion thread, like, we gotta fix this a little bit.
The little ginger kid? That picture?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, that's it. And he's, like, with some girl.
Oh my god, me and DeBay. Oh my, Jesus Christ. Oh. Okay, but yes, we are doing late night. It's been a while. Let's see what's been going on in our lives. Did I talk about? No, I did not talk about my date.
Okay.
I
want to talk about Death Grips, even though I've talked to you guys about it like probably 3 times.
Actually, just talk about Death Grips right now, because like I think people are sick of me talking about girl drama. So please, how was Death Grips? And you actually met up with Arthi at the concert, right?
Yeah, okay, so Death Grips was amazing, and I'll get to that later, but,
Tell the story about the day.
Killer Trap, Clockwork Watermelon, and I don't know, if you listen to the podcast, and obviously you do if you're listening to this right now, that's just Arthi, Jeremiah, and I, we met up and went to this cute little record store. And, like, the guy who was working the shop there was, like, he had this Merzbow record, and it was, like, this old Merzbow record, and the cover was just this hot pink anus. Like, it was this... and he was like, hey, guys, look at this. And we all had a laugh about that, and he put it on, and, like, none of us really listened to, like, black metal or...
Merzbow is noise music, and I generally just do not like noise music. I kind of understand the appeal, but at the same time, though, it's like, why is it? Why? Like, why do you like that? Then still, like, how do you get to a point where that's the appeal of like, oh, it's like, you know, like, it's like hurting yourself. It's like, why would you do that to yourself? I mean, I do listen to you know, stuff that is kind of brutal. I mean, Death Grips is pretty brutal, but it's just sort of like, where Death Grips, there's at least some melody and there's like actual music to it, I guess.
The great thing about Death Grips is like they're such an intense and extreme band, but structurally their music is pop. The Fever is a pop song, even though it's filled with screaming and these off the wall synths, and it sounds like it was like, I don't know, cooked alongside meth.
To me, the Money Store is basically a pop rap album, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's basically pop rap.
It's like, it's weird to call it that, and that's just so wrong at the same time, but like structurally they're like verse, chorus, verse songs, you know, like that's what they are.
And then they have super catchy hooks.
Yeah, exactly.
The
Fever is crazy catchy.
And for Death Grips, it's generally accessible. That's the most accessible record by far.
Yeah.
I mean, and then, you know, just try to get someone to be like, oh yeah, actually, I mean, I kind of like the Money Stores. Like, it was pretty decent. And then have them listen to Redacted on the Moon. And they're like, what is happening right now? Oh god,
It's funny because that was the first Death Grips record that I actually liked.
Mm-hmm.
Like before that, I had listened to the Money Store and I had listened to Government Plates, and they just did not work for me.
I actually tried getting into with Redacted on the Moon, and then I just ended up being like, what the fuck am I listening to? And then eventually I did like Money Store, Ex-Military, and I got into them through there.
Yeah.
But I first heard about them when they actually came out with.
I still don't like Ex-Military.
What?
And it's
my god. Okay.
It's not that I dislike it. Okay, let me explain. There's a certain level of disorientation that I get from listening to Death Grips for a certain period of time. Like, if I listen to Death Grips for 3 hours, I have to stop. I just can't keep going.
Pussy.
I get that within, like, 11 minutes of listening to Ex-Military.
Oh, man.
It's weird. It's like, it just happens. I can't explain it.
I mean, Ex-Military isn't my favorite Death
Grips album. It just fucks me up.
But it's such a great... in my opinion, it's the best mixtape of all time. Because, God, it's even though there's songs in there, like, the only song in there, like, I kind of dislike to an extent is I Want It, I Need It. But that's mainly just because it goes on a little bit too long. Like, it should have been cut by, like, 2 minutes, and it would have been just fine.
Yeah.
Because, like, it's basically just like a wild night. It goes on way too long sometimes. Yeah. Like, it starts to drag.
Anyway.
So it's...
Back to my story.
Yes, back to the story.
Because I'm sure our audience has heard us talk about Death Grips enough in the past. So the guy takes out this Merzbow record and he puts it on, and it's like, it's funny because all the noise that I've heard, like, it's all like, they're all mostly long pieces, but each track was like 30 seconds long, and then there was like 30 seconds of this straight, like, uncompromising, like, unchanging noise. Like, there was no difference, or it felt like there was no difference, I'm sure there was, between the start and the end of the track. And then it would just be like 5 seconds of silence in between each track, and it felt so awkward, but it was kind of funny at the same time. And it was like, I don't know, it was clear that it was like, even the guy who was working there, it was clear that it was like not what any of us are into, and it was just funny. So we went there, then we walked around, we didn't really walk around, we walked back to my car, and Jeremiah went home, and Arthi and I went to go get the tickets from Adga, and then we went to the show, and it was funny because, for one, there was a line, like, circling around the entire block. It was the longest line I'd ever seen, to get into the show. And like, we go to the end, and, like, while we were walking there, it was just the exact audience you'd expect to see at a Death Grips concert.
Oh, yeah,
like,
Arthi was keeping me updated on like, what shirts people were wearing. Okay, so...
Everyone was you, Matty.
Everyone was me?
Well, not everyone. We saw... Okay,
I don't know.
Like...
I wouldn't wear a fucking Pepe shirt, Alex, if you think that would be me.
Yeah.
I would not wear a Pepe shirt.
I didn't mean it in that. I just meant like everyone was your demographic.
Okay. Everyone
Mostly.
was just like my age and like a super fan.
Yeah, like suburban, like internet based like kids. And like we saw so many meme shirts. It was ridiculous. And like we were laughing about it, and like the guy in front of us, and I'm assuming the person he was with was his girlfriend. I just got that vibe from them, but like we ended up talking a brief amount about it, and like we saw a guy wearing a vaporwave shirt, and we talked about that for a little while, and finally the line starts to move, and we get in the club, and I was wearing a shirt that said pizza party on it, and instead of A's, it had slices of pepperoni pizza. And I promised my girlfriend I'd wear it to the Death Grip show as a joke, and I did. And yeah, that was fun, but
so maybe some hardcore, Vampire Weekend fans recognize that. You never know.
I didn't even thought of the Lum Run shirt, song, when I got that shirt, like it was just like we were in Marshall's because I needed shorts, and we saw that, and it was like, I don't know, I was just so perplexed as to what demographic was buying and wearing that shirt, and it wasn't like there was just one odd shirt in the clearance section. It was like practically advertised, like there was a whole stack of them. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I grab it, and it's $8, and I was like, you know what, I'm getting this shirt, and I got it. But anyway, we go into the concert, and the security was insane. Like the security was tighter than it would be in an airport. Mm-hmm. Like seriously, we got patted down. They searched through all our stuff.
Is it
they had
club,
like scanners.
Is it just the club, or is it
I'm not sure
like...
if it was just the club or if it was Death Grips or what. I don't know, but like the security was crazy. I mean, they had 930 Club shirts on, so maybe it was just the club.
Well,
but yeah, and like
obviously it's gonna be employees or patting you down. Was it maybe just like the owner of the club or like the person who manages it, like, okay, be extra like tight tonight because it's Death Grips and kids are gonna go crazy?
Yeah, I don't know. But like the guard, like, he was making me nervous because he starts talking to me, and I just felt awkward about standing there having him pat at my crotch.
I mean, they did that too at the pageant whenever I went to St. Vincent like a month ago.
Yeah.
So it's not like an abnormal thing for them to do that.
It's never happened to me before. But anyway, it was like I was like all nervous because he was doing that, and it was awkward. And he was like, "You seem nervous," and I'm like, I almost shouted out, "I'm not gonna bomb the place, okay?"
Oh my god!
I was like, "Yeah, I am kind of nervous," and he was like, "Why is that?" And like, he's being like, he's got this really intimidating tone on, and I'm like, I don't know, I've never done this before, and like, yeah. So after that, which was like the longest 20 seconds of my life, we get in the club, and I get a shirt that's got MC Ride from the Guillotine video in black and white, and then just capitalized and italicized with an exclamation point. Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty happy about this shirt. Anyway, but so we go up to the balcony, and like we wait for a while, and while we were waiting for them to come on, like there were these sporadic like periods where everyone was clapping and cheering as though the band was coming on, but they weren't. Like we get in, it was at least an hour before they came on. Mm-hmm. What?
Did you get a chance to hear like apparently there's like unreleased music that they play before the show?
It was like, I don't know what was playing when we first got in, but for a while they were just playing Fashion Week.
Oh, okay.
I did recognize those songs as Fashion Week songs. So I don't know what was going on when we first came in, but it didn't really sound like Death Grips to me until they started playing Fashion Week. But anyway, so it was like at least an hour, and like that just kept happening, and it was so frustrating because we'd be like, all right, time to put our earplugs in, and nothing was really happening. And so that went on for like an hour, and then the band comes on, and like I'm sure you've heard stories about this before, but they didn't talk at all.
I mean,
didn't
yeah, apparently they just play music.
They get on, play music nonstop. They transition in between every song, and then they just walk off.
I think Wright says thanks at the end, and then they walk off.
Yeah, I don't think he did that for our show. I don't remember hearing
did someone
him say
get hold on?
thanks.
Okay, sorry to interrupt you, Alex. Did someone get kicked at the show?
I don't know. I didn't see.
Okay, again, because you went yesterday.
On the 11th, yeah.
Okay, then so. Okay, whatever. Keep going with your story, because I'm just on our Death Grips right now, and someone said he kicked someone during. Oh yeah, it was at your show because it says 9:30 Club. Because someone was flipping him off all night, and he got kicked.
We weren't on the floor for most of the show.
So you probably didn't see it then. Okay.
Yeah. I was barely even watching the band. I was like uncontrollably gyrating for most of the time. So they come on and they start playing like. I didn't understand what was happening at first because I recognized the lyrics from the Powers That Be, but they were playing it to the tune, to one of the instrumentals from Fashion Week. So I was really confused, and I thought maybe they were playing, like, they started off with the Powers That Be and then started playing a melody of older songs because I'm less familiar. Well, I haven't heard the Death Grips EP, and I've only listened to the Ex-Military a couple times. So, like... I don't know. I thought that's what was happening, but no, it was just the Powers That Be. But like, I don't know. That was insane. At first, I was like, okay, I don't really know what's happening, and it was like sort of dancey, and then they start playing tracks that I'm familiar with, and like, this does happen to me sometimes when I listen to Death Grips, but when it was there at the concert, like every last song, I was freaking the fuck out, and like it was kind of awkward too because like Arthi and I were the only ones dancing on that side of the balcony. And like I was going nuts, like I was shaking, I was like gyrating, I was headbanging harder than I'd ever headbanged before, like and there was just these guys right next to me, and it was like, I almost stumbled into one of them once, and he gave me this look. Yeah, and eventually I had to just stop, because it was like, I don't know.
Just too awkward, like, okay, there's too much tension.
No, I was completely out of breath. I had to sit down, my heart was beating really hard, but that didn't help, because the only place I could sit down was in the corner, and like, in the corner, you get, like, the bass bouncing off the walls, and it just shook my body. So, like, I barely got, like, respite there. But yeah, so that went on for a while, and eventually Arthi was, like, wanting to go down to the balcony, but I couldn't hear her because I had earplugs in, and so there was just this exchange where we were trying to communicate to each other through hand gestures for, like, 4 minutes without making any headway. But then we went down onto the floor, which, like... I kind of liked being in the balcony for whatever reason, but it didn't really make too much of a difference to me because it wasn't like I was really watching the band all that much. Like, I couldn't. My head was moving too much. But I did pay more attention to the band on the floor anyway, even though it's harder for me to see, and yeah. And then they played The Fever, which is a song that I normally uncontrollably dance to, and I headbanged so hard that, like... and went so far that I almost hit my head on the floor once.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And then a few songs after that they stopped. Once it reached The Fever, it was like with each song it felt like this is the last song. This is gonna be the last song. And then it just wasn't for like 4 or 5 songs. And that kind of like...
Did you not pay attention to Death Grips? Because like basically they're doing the same set list like every night.
Yeah, I didn't look at setlist.fm or anything, so I didn't know. But yeah, towards the end, I was like, okay, they're starting to get into the last few songs probably, and they haven't played The Fever yet. Maybe I just have to, accept that it's not going to happen, because that's one of my favorite Death Grip songs, and I really wanted to hear them play it. But they did. It was great. And, like, I don't know. It was kind of a crazy, unique concert experience.
Mm-hmm.
Like, out of the ones I've been to, because, like, I don't know, it wasn't just like, it was like the band and the audience were perpetually feeding off of each other's energy, and like that happens to an extent at every show, but like it was really there with Death Grips. Like, the more intense the band got, the more intense the audience got, and then it was like the band then fed off of that and got more intense, and it was like, it was weird. Being in the balcony was funny because like you could look down at the crowd and you'd just see, it would just look like this like raging sea of people. Like, it was weird. Like, it really looked like waves crashing against rocks and shit. I don't know. Oh man, it was such an intense and disorienting experience. Like, looking at it now, it's so cool. Like, during the show, I wasn't even sure if I was enjoying it, but like, that was a great concert.
They didn't cancel it, so that's
yeah.
So you're happy. Oh god, I'm so jealous. They didn't. Again, they announced new dates, and it's like, oh, it's mostly Florida. It's like, god damn it, Death Grips. Like,
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they added more dates.
Yeah, there's a gap in their schedule in October between like when they play Sacramento and then their last date that they have on the schedule still. So there's still a chance.
Maybe.
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if they take a break then, because like,
they probably will.
I don't know.
Break.
I think MC Ride's gonna need to rest his voice eventually, because like,
the dude
he's in control of his voice on the record, but like in concert, he screams his head off as much as possible. Like, there was one time when he was just like, he just screamed so much that his voice gave out, and like he shrieked, and like everything you could do with your voice in that kind of register he did, and it was insane. And it was like, I don't know, he must be fucking like guzzling honey before and after shows. I just have no idea how he could be doing it otherwise. So I wouldn't be surprised if they took that time to take a break, because
maybe they'll record a new album. Who knows?
I was thinking about that today. Like, they're a really fucking prolific band. Like, they've released more than the Velvet Underground discography in half the time. Like, I don't know, I was thinking about that today, because I've always compared their discographies for whatever reason, even though I've never listened to a Velvet Underground record, which I really should. But, like, because, like, they're both kind of, or at this present point in time, they're both short but, like, really sweet. Like, every record is pretty beloved, except for, the last Velvet Underground record, which doesn't really count. But, like, and they're, like, kind of experimental and subversive for their time. But yeah. Then I don't know, I ended up going on the Velvet Underground Wikipedia page and, like, realized that they were a band and they did that in 10 years, and Death Grips has done this in, like, even less time. They've done it in like 4 years, right? Didn't Ex-Military come out in 2011?
They formed in December 2010, so technically it's
right.
It's
less
than 5 years.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
But still, yeah, they just so quickly have made like such a huge impact in the music industry, which is just like, again, I love them a lot, and that's one of the main reasons for it. It's just they're extremely, like, they've already proven to be very influential in just like a few. Within like 2 years, they were like already extremely influential with like the release of No Love Deep Web and just leaking their own album, being like, hey, you can just drop a surprise album and like it can be commercially, well, not commercially, but it can be like popular if you have a dedicated enough fan base, basically. Because Death Grips, they had a dedicated fan base. They've had a dedicated fan base since like money store probably. And like as time goes on, you know, just fans become even more and more dedicated.
Yeah. In a way, they did kind of prove it to be financially viable because, like, people downloaded that album, and it wasn't like it didn't just go unnoticed. Like, they didn't promote it at all. They just dropped it as a download, and people went and got that album. And I mean, sure, it was free, but like that's still something.
It gave him tons of publicity, basically.
It didn't just float away on the breeze, you know.
I think I want to say I think it had like 32 million downloads if I recall correctly, or somewhat. It was like a couple million downloads for sure.
I thought it was 32 million downloads.
Okay, yeah.
Well, that would be insane. Yeah.
But yeah, basically, No Love Deep Web was a very like impactful album on the music industry. It was basically just saying that like it really was just a giant message to record labels being like, you know, I mean,
to be fair, Radiohead did it like a year prior.
What King of Limbs?
Yeah.
But they leaked it?
What?
Are you talking about In Rainbows where they, you know, dropped it like pay your own
No,
price?
no. They dropped King of Limbs just as like a surprise practically, but
Really?
I don't think it was as successful as No Love Deep Web.
Well, the thing is, what was King
they
of Limbs?
went and
just
promoted
like
it afterwards.
Was it a couple days before they dropped the album? They started like.
I think they might have announced it like 2 days before or something.
Because that's different. But
it was mostly a surprise.
I mean,
yeah, that was still a new way of doing it. I'm not like Death Grips is definitely part of that conversation. I'm not trying to, you know,
devalue.
Yeah, downplay their influence in that, but yeah.
And the funny thing about the funniest thing that is the weirdest coincidence, which I think it's somewhat of a coincidence, but like at the same time though, it may not be. So Beyonce, she surprise dropped her visual album about a month after they dropped Government Place, which was also a surprise release and also a visual album. And of course, there's a picture of Beyonce and Robert Pattinson and Death Grip and Zach and Ride. So I was just sort of thinking, like, did they like talk about like No of Deep Web and like, oh yeah, we're gonna surprise release our next album? That kind of gave Beyonce an idea to do with like her next album. I don't know. I feel like they had to be some sort of factor.
Yeah.
I mean, I just wish someone would interview Beyonce and just like straight up ask her like, what do you think of Death Grips? And just see, you know, I just want to figure out like if they had any influence on the release, because they had to have had, like they had to have had.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if like Death Grips is on Beyonce's radar. I don't think I feel like Beyonce doing it will end up being much more famous and historical, you know, like more remembered, because like she's a much bigger artist.
She was the person who
like I think she was the first person to really put it on, like, you know,
she put it on iTunes.
the minds of the general public, you know, because she not only did she put it on iTunes, but it wasn't just like one little spot on iTunes. Like iTunes really backed it. Like it was the only thing in the iTunes store practically when it went up. Like all of their banner ads and, you know, like all the things were just Beyonce new album.
I mean, because the thing is, with Beyonce's album, it's already impressive enough that like Death Grips was able to do a surprise release and like have like basically no one know about it. But it's even more impressive with Beyonce because she is so famous and she has so many people that like there's so many connections she has, and the fact that album did not like no information about it leaked out is like, I think that's even more impressive than the surprise release itself. The fact that we heard basically nothing about it up until the album came out.
Yeah.
Which is just
that she managed to keep any information from getting out there. That is incredible. Like
I don't want to completely like put her as like the person. I imagine like it wasn't. I mean, she's definitely. I'm not gonna devalue Beyonce because she's definitely a very powerful force in her music. And she definitely has a lot of creative control over her music and her image and etc. and all that stuff. But definitely it was her, you know, her team, her PR team, and you know whatnot. That definitely like. It's still like I'm not gonna try to value that it's impressive because it's still very impressive, and like the fact that she and her team are able to like keep it a secret for so long. was just.
Oh
like,
yeah, like obviously she had a team of people that made that happen, but like, yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
But yeah, Death Grips. I love Death Grips. They're my favorite band of all time. I'd say even. I may just well and go say that. So yeah, I love Death Grips, and I'm really jealous of that character story.
I love the way you said that. Like, I love Death Grips, like a little high school crush.
I do. I mean, I love them. I do love them.
Yeah, I know, Matty. I love them too.
As do I.
Oh, not
Hopefully
as much as you love Death Grips. What, Ollie?
No, hopefully I can see them in SF. I think on the 26th. But I have to try to go to the box office that day and get tickets when they release them.
Yeah.
They always release them right before the show.
I wonder what them playing in San Francisco is like, because that's their hometown, right? Sacramento. Or no, they're Sacramento, right?
Come on,
yeah.
Get it together, Alex. Jeez.
I live in Sacramento, and they're playing a festival there, but I don't want to go to that festival. Hold on, I'll be right back.
I hate it when bands only play one show in an area and it's a festival. Practically the only show Tame Impala is playing anywhere near me is a festival show, and I want to see them on this tour. I'm just really hoping they had dates.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, so I wanted to talk about
Actually, wait, I have more to say about the about that release model.
Okay, go.
Because
we can talk about
it more. I have a complicated relationship with that, because part of me loves that, that we can just that can just happen. I love it when that happens, but the anticipation building up is hell, because either you know about it and you don't know when it's going to happen, like with this new Kanye album, and it's just this long drawn out period of is it coming soon? And every time you get new news, it's it's exciting. Oh, it must be coming soon. And then it doesn't. And you're just in this state of limbo. Or you just don't know any information at all. And for all you know, that artist could be done recording forever. And
I'm
in that way, I hate the model. But it's just such a fun thing when it does happen. And it happens successfully,
Mm-hmm. I'm just not excited at all for Swish, which is so weird to say that you're not excited for a Kanye album, but I didn't really, the three singles were generally good, but they were very underwhelming, and they didn't have a whole lot of replay value to me.
They weren't Kanye good though.
Yeah, they weren't it wasn't at his level of quality usually. So it's just sort of
yeah.
His
I
heart,
think
his
it's fair to say. I think that's fair to say, because I think the singles are good, but I would agree that they are maybe, less than his usual level of goodness.
His heart's no longer in the music. His heart is in fashion and all these other things. His heart's it's not 100% in the music, which is just sort of that's not good. Why are you making music when, when that's not your main focus?
I don't know if that's completely fair. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not his main focus, but I don't think Kanye is gonna drop a bad album. I think he still cares.
I think he cares,
just because it's not his main
focus.
focus.
No, honestly.
Well, I mean, the fact that we haven't heard the album yet, I think, is indicative of the fact that he does still care.
Yeah,
because he clearly has a lot of material done and recorded based off of just things getting leaked. Well, that was just all day, but him dropping things at random and then not releasing CD quality versions. If the only CD quality versions we have are All Day and Only One, and we don't even know if those are going to be on the album.
The funny thing about All Day is that actually the demo version, if you found it, the beat was actually a lot better on the demo version.
Way better.
Better.
I was really disappointed.
It's
honestly.
Why just drop the the original song? I don't understand why they go back and change it. And then of course there was the Kendrick verse that leaked, and it's wow, this verse is incredible. Why wasn't it on the goddamn song? The song would have had a lot more hype and whatnot, and it gave the song a lot more energy, because Kanye's performance on All Day is just underwhelming in my opinion. He's not you see the live performance, you go, holy shit, that is. I mean, again, whenever you have, you know, flamethrowers in your performance, you can't really beat that. You can't compete. Yeah. So just his delivery was just sort of off on that song. It just seemed like he wasn't excited to be rapping. And it's just
I don't know though. I don't think that's fair because I compared that with like I don't know, you know, like it's a Watch the Throne track for some reason. Niggas in Paris, right? Of course. And like his oh, should I have said redacted? I guess it's too late. He
you
like
broke the running joke, Alex.
What is the running joke?
Redacted in Paris.
I don't think I was around for this, but what was the? Or like, you can explain it later when we're not.
Oh, what redact? No,
we just don't say the N-word.
We just say redacted because it's funny. I think I don't know where it started.
I don't know.
I think I started it. I know that. I don't know.
I don't think that I should be saying that word. I don't agree with that, but like I think if it's in a title or if I'm literally just quoting something, I think it's fair. Like,
I mean, I just say redacted because I'm uncomfortable with saying it, and it's just a way to get around it, and it's also kind of funny. Because like, oh my god, I remember the podcast, the Jamie XX podcast we did, and Nick, it was his first podcast on in like at least a couple months. And, like, I said Redacted on the Moon. He's like, oh, yeah. He was, like, talking like he actually knew what the record was. And I'm like, he's like, oh, yeah, I'll listen to that album. And I'm like, Nick, do you know what I'm talking about? And he's like, what? I'm like, we're talking about the Death Grips album, you know, Redacted on the Moon. And he was like, oh. Nick is our little, is the baby of the podcast. He is the youngest member. You know, he's a little baby. And, you know. He's kind of he's a big head to me sometimes, but you know that's the relationship, you know, because he's, you know, if he's the baby's, you know, the younger brother, you know, we argue. Oh, okay. I'm just making no sense right now. I'm sorry,
anyway,
people. Keep going on what you're talking about.
So Kanye's performance on Redacted in Paris is like it's not any more, you know. It's not any more fiery, and people love that song for how hype the track is.
No, Alex, I disagree. His performance on Redacted in Paris is fine. His lyrics on that song are terrible. They're awful. But like he has a certain energy and cadence about him that's like he's hype as fuck, and it's like, yeah, but on All Day he just doesn't seem interested.
And I don't know. I think the thing is it starts off like kind of like that, but when you get into the like the meat of the track, like towards the end, he does get that way. Like when he delivers the light-skinned slave line, he's like, he fucking shouts that. I mean,
yeah, in certain lines, yeah, he's got a little energy, but like for the most part of the song, he just seems like have this really boring delivery, like just just bored.
I have a feeling that like I remember a while back I heard that like Kendrick had a guest verse on his album, and he actually like went back after he heard Kendrick's verse and rewrote his verse. If something like that didn't happen once he heard Kendrick's album and he said, oh shit, like mine's really subpar. Maybe he's actually like redoing his album entirely right now. Probably not.
Who knows? I think in The Guardian they said it's coming out in autumn. I just don't care. I want it. But that's just the thing. I just want it. I
wouldn't be surprised if Kanye is redoing the album completely, and I bet that's already happened multiple times. Because that's just what he does. He works until it's done.
Yeah, I guess. Anyways, let's see. We're at like 45. How long are we doing? Where are we at right now? Okay, we're at like 38 minutes. Do we want to keep going, or do we want to wrap it up soon? Okay, okay. I guess I'll go and talk about something now. So about I don't know if I want to talk about it. I'm thinking about it. Like basically, if you follow this journal discussion, you kind of figure out what happened. I went on a date with a girl. It was a girl that I had history with. Like, we went to her homecoming together. She kind of was a bitch to me that night. You know, we stopped talking. We started talking again a couple weeks ago.
Oh, it was that girl?
Yeah.
Why did you go on a date with her?
Oh, we started talking again, and like she seemed like she changed, but she didn't. And she just started ignoring me. And then like we went on a date, and then I thought it went fine. And then like 2 days later, she started ignoring me for no reason. And then like I just give it up. Like I don't care. And also, I'm struggling with.
Honestly, Matty, like I feel for you, but that's on you. You should
I know. I should have known. That is on me. I blame myself for that. Like, why did I trust her? But the thing is, and now, like, I have... the thing is, I don't think she's not going to listen to this other girl. But, like... So we all know that Jeremiah has his girl, his knife girl. You know, the girl, he's in love with. If you follow the general discussion threads, he's in love with a girl who's... What's the knife girl thing? Like, I know all, like... no. It was, like, that's what he called her in the chat, like, really early, like... during like the beginning days of the podcast, like the first like month or so. I think it was month 2 or 3 months. It was just like he didn't want to say her name, so it's just sort of like, oh, that's what we call her. And I have my own knife girl, and I'm struggling like now, like recently, like I kind of had like an epiphany, like, oh my god, I think I love this girl. And then it's just sort of like, because like we've tried going out before and it didn't really work out, but like we were just not in good places whenever we tried, going again. And now I feel like we're both in very good places and, like, maybe it can work out. But at the same time, though, my parents hate her because they think, they don't know she's changed or, like, fixed her life up. I'm struggling being like, is it worth it? And it's just sort of like a giant conflicting mess that I'm not ready to confront yet. So, yeah. There's things I'm not ready to like admit that I like that. Well, I just said I love this girl, but I'm not ready to kind of like act on that yet. Like I just have to find the right time and like really think it out. So yeah. Oh God, I have so many girl troubles. I mean, if you got me at this time last year, you said, "Oh, you're gonna have a bunch of girl troubles in the next year," I'd be like, "Are you stupid, dude? I'm gonna be a virgin before I leave high school." But no, that wasn't the case, and then I have a lot of girl troubles and depression and stuff like that, and trust issues, which this girl ignoring me doesn't really help. If anything, that makes those trust issues even worse.
Right.
What? Hashtag late night. Watch Matty have a breakdown. An emotional breakdown on the podcast.
We should just, like, compile all of these, like, scrap all of the recordings where these came from, but, like, just have a compilation of all of us having breakdowns. I'm sure once college starts, you'll be able to get some good meat from me.
Oh, yeah.
And then, you can milk Jeremiah for that, all you need.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God. But yeah, the podcast chat, oh, God. Can we talk about... We're going to start some drama
right now.
Here. I mean. So, of course, there's some teams on our Indieheads. There's the Slack chat team, there's podcast team, and there's mod team, and then there's, like, other users who are just fucking random people. And then it's just sort of like there's a contest. I feel like there's a little bit of... Because, like... No, I do not. Okay, now I will say I do not harbor these feelings towards the Slack chat, even though there's one guy in there who called me a bitch, like a week or two ago, because I was talking about that one girl that I went on a date with, and he's like, stop crying like a little bitch and listen to this playlist I made. And I was like, I don't like that, dude. No, fuck off. But anyways, but for the most part, Slack chat. I'm personally fine with Slack chat. Like, I think the people in there are fine, but like. With our podcasts, I think there's people in there like, oh, it's just kind of weird in there. Like, some of the people are just kind of, like, really mean in there. I'm like, I just don't say anything. Like, okay.
This is so clicky.
I know.
Oh my god.
I don't want to...
Also, wait, can I go back on something I said? I feel like the thing I said about milking Jeremiah for breakdowns is so insensitive.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to go back on that.
Okay.
Because,
sorry,
like,
Jeremiah.
I just mean, like, Jeremiah has, like, easily the most difficult situation out of anyone
he's
on the
very
podcast right
individual.
now. And it's like... Yeah, I mean, he's an emotional individual in the first place, and, like, that's really cool in my opinion. But,
that.
Like, yeah, no, I know. I was just, like, going up what you said. And, like, that paired with what is currently happening in his life makes this, like, totally legitimate. And, like, I feel really terrible for him. And I just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not, like, default, because he's definitely in, like, a really bad situation right now.
Yeah.
In his life, or, like, he knows this girl is the love of his life, and he won't be able to, like, act on his feelings with her for, like, 5 years because of college and, Army basic training and all that stuff. So, yeah.
I don't like that term though.
What?
The love of your life, because like it's easy to fall in love with someone. You can fall in love with anyone, really. Like, I don't know. I just
can't
don't
fall in
think
love
you
with
should
you.
really. What?
Nothing. Just.
No, I heard Matty.
Oh God. Okay, this is.
I'm just hurt.
Okay, I'm sorry, Alex.
These
I love
wounds
you.
will not heal.
I love you, Alex. I was just kidding. I was just playing jokes.
Oh.
I think people need to realize. I think people don't know, but like, just the podcast. We're just so close. Like, we're basically a family because we go to each other for like almost everything, and it's just sort of like we're so close. And like, I like having having that family, but also it sucks because I can't meet any of you in real life. Maybe next year, like I can get lucky, but like,
Yeah.
it's like we're all very close to each other, and it's just sort of like we all generally, it's just like I enjoy being a part of the podcast because like I mean, if I was with, I'm just lucky to be like with you guys, basically. Like that we've just gathered a great team.
Yeah, I agree. I like you guys.
Same here.
So yeah. Do we want to
Also though, Jeremiah, Sarah, and I are meeting.
Oh yeah,
And then Jeremiah, Arthi, and I met, but Arthi isn't gonna get to meet Sarah.
If you guys don't already know, Alex, Jeremiah, and Sarah, or Nice Work Sarah, Kill a Trap, and Tatia's and G, they're all going to Pitchfork Fest together. They're doing a road trip. And
That's in less than a week. That's this week.
Oh God, please!
That
I think Sarah said she's doing a vlog, so we'll probably upload that to the channel.
Oh, I was like, I wanted to like. So Jeremiah and I are going on a 13-hour road trip.
Yeah.
We might split this over across 2 days, in which case that gives me even more material. I want to make a documentary, man, and I doubt I'm gonna actually like pull through on this, but like I just think that would be so fun.
I mean, yeah, just film it, and then you can kind of decide what to do with the footage. Because like, if you want someone to edit it, like, I can do something with it. I'm an editor. You saw, that video I made.
Yeah.
The Doofus Pictures tribute video. Or no, I'm not Doofus Pictures, whatever.
Yeah. I don't know, so I'm looking forward to that. Sorry, my mom just came in the room and told me to go into a different room, so I got distracted.
Yay, Echo. Allie, do you have anything to you want to talk about anything, buddy?
There's a lot of stuff, but like it's probably being recorded right now.
Yeah.
Maybe after the recording's done, because there's like stuff going on in my life right now that like if somehow my people I know like heard about it,
Dude, I have no dignity about this stuff. Like, I've talked shit on so many people that they could probably listen to this. Like, if my ex-girlfriend found out that, well, she knows I do a podcast, but, like, if she, like, saw I was talking shit on her, she would be... The thing is, I haven't talked to her in 6 months, so it doesn't even matter anyways, because, it's like, I don't talk to them, she don't talk to me. I'll talk shit on... Like, I've talked shit on her to a bunch of people just because, like, I want people to know, like, this person hurt me. She's a bad person. Okay, whatever.
It's fair. It was a really bad breakup.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
the thing is, it could have been fine. Like, it could have been an okay breakup. It could have been mutual, and everything would have been okay. But no, she has to go behind my back, or she went behind my back and started, doing shit with my cousin. And I should have known.
Your cousin, though, I feel like he's the biggest douche in this
situation. He's the biggest douche.
He's your cousin, man. What the fuck?
Wait, what?
He's your cousin, man. What the fuck? You know. Well, how well do you guys know each other? Do you guys like?
We were close. Like
that's fucked. That's super fucked up.
We were close. Jesus. Thing is, and I remember him. He told me. I think this was whenever I told him I had a crush on her, and like I think maybe it wasn't then, but he told a story about like his mom, and he was like saying like, yeah, I don't like. He basically said, oh, I said her name shit. Let's see, hold on. What's the timestamp? Okay, I'm gonna go back and censor that. Okay, if I remember, I'm gonna censor that. I think it was like 40. Okay. 40.
Yeah, 40. Can you censor when I said redacted? Because, like...
No, I'm not going to do that. Fuck that.
Come on, man.
Dude, that's just... Okay, the thing is, that's the album name. That's different. I said a name, okay?
Yeah.
A name that, like, is pretty identifiable.
That's fair. I just mean, like careers, man. Although I doubt anyone's going to find this. And it's not like I've said my last name on here, so whatever.
Okay, but yeah, we should.
I don't know. I've just heard like stories of people getting like fired because their boss dug up something in their past that was like.
Luckily,
seems like such a small thing.
Okay, luckily my racist uncle, who's my boss, has not found out that my ex-girlfriend is black, because otherwise he would have probably fired me. I'm not joking.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Okay, yeah, we should probably wrap things up.
All right.
Hope you guys enjoyed this special episode of the R/Indieheads podcast. And bye. We love you. We love you because the only people who listen to the late night are hardcore listeners.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah. Oh, one final note.
Oh, okay.
Death grips. Okay, bye.
Bye.